Peace, family. How you doing? For the past few days now, I've been thinking, and something that keep coming to me, like you should talk about this. And I was like, nah, I don't want to because I've been keeping this confession so close to my chest. I know confession is not the right word. It's more like, I'm sharing past experiences and stuff like that, and it's the honest truth. What I'm about to tell you is might be a little bit deep, guys. Whether you believe it or not is the truth. And let's get started. So where to start? Back in 2016, right? 2016, that year kind of like sparked my awakening. And during that year 2016, there's a lot of things that was going on. I was going through, I wouldn't call it depression, but there was a lot of things that was happening to me, with certain individuals in my life, like, for example, and I don't want you to paint a bad picture of whoever I might reference to, because that's in the past. What I learned to understand is that situation helped me to grow, helped me to become spiritually awake, or enlightened. At the time, I would just say spiritually awakened, not more so enlightened, because there's stages to get to enlightenment. That's with spirituality, and a lot of people don't realize that there's stages to it. When you just become awake, real briefly, when you just become awake, spiritually awake, you're more like spiritually conscious. Now you're seeing beyond the veil. You're seeing the fake from the real. You're observing things, people, patterns. You're seeing symbols, signs. You're paying attention to nature. And when you start to see the truth behind a lot of things, whether it's what's going on in the world, you start to go through the motions. A lot of people first go through the anger. A lot of people, when they just become spiritually awakened, the first emotion that is prevalent is anger. And it's because it's like feeling like you've been lied to all your life, and then waking up to the truth. And you're like, you feel so angry, you feel deceived, you feel like all my life I've been deceived. All my life I haven't been seeing the truth, and now that I see the truth, it makes me angry. So you want to lash out to different organizations, and probably people, probably family members, probably even your own spouse in some instances, probably friends, probably co-workers at the job. The anger phase, you got to go through the anger phase when you just become awake. And a lot of people don't speak about that anger phase. It's 4 phases we go through when you become awake. And for me, what happened first was I was angry, and I started posting stuff on Facebook, oh, this and that and this and that. And you're angry that other people don't see what you see at the time. That's because you don't have an understanding that everyone wakes up in their own time. Don't be angry about it. Don't force the issue. Allow them, give them knowledge and information that you may have, you share, and allow them to, in due time, they'll wake up on their own. If not, then some people never wake up. And so it's not an issue that you can force. It's something that person got to look within to find that awakening, to go through that awakening process. So my first emotion was anger. I was crazy angry at one time. I was angry at everything. And then the second emotion that came across was sadness. Sadness because you go through a lonely phase. You start looking at things different. So a lot of the friends that you used to have, and even family members and places that used to go, like clubbing and all that, you no longer have interests. So because of that, you start losing friends. You start losing even family. and then you become less, you become lonely, and because the lonely is sad, it brings about the sadness, and it, that's another phase that you got to go through, because when you become spiritually awakened, it forces you into isolation, self-isolation, and you start to be like, you know what, let me you don't see going to the clubs as interesting as you did before. Now for me, once in a while, now after years pass, I'll go to a club, have a little good time, whatever, but it's not something that interests me like when I was before I become awakened. So you go through the anger phase, you go through the sad phase, you go through the what other phase, and then you start crying and stuff because you realize, during the sad phase, you realize you've been lied to, you realize that you're losing friends, you start to have, and it's not so much for yourself, is you're more remorseful about the company around you. You could, it's like you're feeling, you feel the sadness for them. It's not even really, because people might say, oh, it's you, or it's me that I just awaken and whatever, and I'm sad for me. I'm sad at what's going on in the world, like when you see people dying and different things. So you go through that phase, and you go through the happy phase, the end. You start to become happy. A lot of people never really got out of the anger phase though. Once they got spiritually awakened, they stay angry. They stay, and then you'll see that in the posts also. You'll see the anger in the posts, like everything that they post. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that you have to understand where that is coming from. Like, I understand where it's coming from. So I'll still watch a certain post, and I'll be like, yeah, I get it. I was there. But it's not good to sit into that, in that emotion. You're supposed to feel it, go through the ropes, and then graduate from that and move forward. You go through the happy phase when you realize that you're on the right side, you're on the right track, because now you're more aware. Now you're seeing life and people and things for what it is, what it really is, and it brings some kind of peace and happiness to yourself, knowing that, well, now I know my heart is, is being filled. You got to you have a different love for animals, you got a different love for nature, trees, plants, even people. And but a lot of people don't get to that phase though, because there's different phases in the spiritual awakening that we go through, and nobody talks about the phases. You understand? So I'm just explaining you my phases that I went through, and it's not just, I'm pretty sure it's not just me, there are other people also, right? So then you have enlightenment. Enlightenment is when you put all the emotions and the phases together, and you start to look at the bigger picture. It's like a larger picture. It's like you're seeing way beyond the next person that is not spiritually awakened, or even people that are spiritually awakened but stuck in the previous stages. You start to see, and when you start to become enlightened, you start to see the bigger picture of the world. You start to see how spirituality and physicality and how it all come together, the yin and the yang, the light and the dark, and how it both sides play a role. You can never totally eliminate the dark, and you can never totally eliminate the light, or both need each other, and need each other on an equal level. You can't say, okay, this is gotta be just a minimum, and then this is gonna be like this big. Look at the yin and the yang. It has to be equal, right? And there are rules to that too. Balance. Equality brings balance, right? So, and I'm not talking about good and evil, which could also be a part of good and evil. If you totally eliminate evil from the world, people won't know what good is. Think about it. How can you know what is good for you if you don't know what's bad for you in the first place, and vice versa. So if you have to, that's enlightenment. You have to look at the bigger picture. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you should go and go, oh, some people, oh, so you worship the devil. No, this is not, don't even think about those lines. Those are people that think small. People who jump and say things like that, they are ignorant. And they might be upset, people watching this, saying, oh, you called me ignorant, and I'm, yes, you are. You are. You are. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. But anyway. So that's I wanted to get that out the way. Now, going back to my confession, all right? Since that came up, my confession is in 2016 when I became spiritually awakened, not enlightened yet, became awakened. I was going through the motions. I was sad. I would just be like sitting in my bed watching TV, regular things like Animal Planet, and I just started crying, like for out of the blue. I'm not a person that cries. You know what I mean? I'm not emotional. I'm an Aquarius. I'm a King of Swords. Like, emotions is not something. But over the years, I have developed how emotions and how it plays an important role. But let's not go into all that, right? So I find it very odd because before I became awakened, like I have little emotions, even in relationships. Not that I don't love the person, but I don't really care for their feelings as I should have. You know what I mean? Not that I don't care at all, but I tend to brush things off. Oh, you're too cry baby, or oh, you too, you're too this, you too that, da 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 da. And while that person is genuinely expressing themselves and how they feel. And I don't, that's one of the things of Aquarius, well, me, let me speak for myself, that Aquarius is very intelligent, very smart, but when it comes to emotions, we kind of lacking in that department. And so that's something that we need to build and work on, and I think a lot of people knows that already. So going back to my confession again. So I was going through some stuff, started crying. I don't even know why I was crying. I was just watching Animal Planet, like I'm remembering like it's yesterday. And I was there, and this might sound strange, believe as you may or don't believe, it's fine. But I have to, I didn't plan on ever speaking about this. So by me sharing this with you guys, so be it. Take it as you. And the reason why I haven't shared this with anyone, not even my spouse, when I'm with my spouse or whatever, I don't share it with anyone because I don't know how they're gonna take it. Like, even if people look at me strange and weird. I like being strange and weird. That makes me different. That doesn't bother me. But I don't know how they're gonna take it. You know what I mean? So this is what happened, and this is the truth. Here we go. Sitting in the bed, going through this depression phase. There was other things that led up to my spiritual awakening that I don't want to go down. I mentioned it in my previous videos on my other channel, but I haven't really mentioned it on this channel. So maybe one day I'll speak about leading up to my awakening. But this is after I became awakened, just recently after. And I was sitting in the bed, and there were five beings that entered the room. Very tall. Like, when I say very tall, meaning that they had to bow their head to get through the door. How my bed was set up, straightforward, right? TV in front of me, right? Like I'm facing you guys right now. To my right was the door to enter the bedroom. They came in, right, on my right hand side, and I was like frozen. I didn't know what to say, it's like I was frozen. I didn't know what they are. I can't tell you what they are because I can't see their faces. It's like a blur. Their faces are blur. I'm sitting there looking at them, 5 tall beings, and they came and they circled the bed, right? There was like one on each side, left and right, and there was one on this corner of the bed, one at that corner, and one directly in front of me. And the strangest thing about that encounter at the time was that they all was talking to me. I can't see them out moving. Their faces were blurred. They were all talking to me simultaneously. I'm hearing them talk in my mind, and the crazy part about that situation is that I understood every single thing they were saying simultaneously while they were simultaneously speaking. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. So that situation was something that happened back in 2016, when you guys, for the first time, I'm actually opening up to speak about it. You know, people always say I'm a mystery and I'm this and that. Maybe because I've seen some things, yo. Maybe because I really do see some things. But anyway, I don't want to come off crazy just coming out like, oh yeah, this and that, and a UFO or this and that, or aliens or spirit realm and spirit people. Maybe because I speak about it very subtly, you know, people might say, oh, that's strange, why you talk about spirit realms and stuff, but I know where I'm coming from when I speak certain things. So if you don't understand, I get it. If you do, you do. So while they were speaking to me simultaneously, this is how I came up with the word chosen, right? They did mention chosen. That's how I at the time did not know what the word chosen or what they were referring to as being chosen or whatever it is meant. I did Google searches on it, but based on what I understand that they were saying, it's slightly different from what you would Google. You understand? So that's how I came about that. And they also mentioned royal bloodline Egyptian, right? It's a lot of things that they said. I don't want to mention everything that they said in detail. Maybe one day somebody say, if you give me $1 million, I'll give you $1 million, and you tell me everything they said. I might spill the beans. I might. But as of now, I have no reason to. I have nothing to prove. I'll just give you bits and pieces of that's the whole conversation, and also where I came up with what I came up with. Royal bloodline Egyptian, that was mentioned in the conversation while they were all speaking to me, and also chosen. Secondly, I got a little worried after the whole incident because I didn't know if it was what I mean chosen for something bad. Turned out to be no, because at the end of the conversation, I was a little bit worried, and they saw that. They could probably tell that I was nervous or scared or something. Yeah, who wouldn't be scared? I have no idea what the hell was going on at the time. I didn't expect that. I didn't invite anything. At the end of the conversation, they came and they all hugged me. They all hugged me, right? And let me tell you something. When they all came around the bed and hugged me together, all of them, right? They said, you're home, right? I never felt that feeling in my entire life. Think about the best feeling you can ever think of, right? And times it by 1,000, and then square by 5. Not square root, but square 5, right? Even talking about it right now, I have goosebumps. It was the best feeling I ever felt. My eyes are a little red, guys. I just ate and I have the itis. Now I want a nap. But anyway, I was trying to find out what was the real reason for the visit. I don't think I really got that answer when it comes to that. But what I do understand from the whole situation was that I was being welcomed to something that's beyond what we know in this physical reality. And that's why, I look at things different. I understand certain things. After that whole experience, right? I started, like, I don't know, people call it downloads, but I started knowing things I shouldn't be knowing. And I'll give you an example, and this is just an example. It's not like, don't take it literal. Like, say, what example? Say, for example, an aircraft. And I started speaking on like things like anti-gravity technology as opposed to rocket propulsion. And I started going off, and I'm talking to myself now, and I'm not crazy. But I start saying, oh, if they use this anti-gravity, this da 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 da, then the rocket propulsion, less fuel, we don't need rockets no more, and we can maneuver through the air, go faster, go things like that. And that's been happening since 2016. And I started getting like downloads and knowledge of different things. I get bits and pieces and snippets of in when I sleep, of Egypt, different things in Egypt. Like, I'm walking around like a regular community back in the day when the pharaohs used to be alive. Like things like that. I never spoke about things like that to anyone though, because I don't know how. Like I said, I don't know how people take it. But I've been urged. Something is pushing me to just talk. It don't matter. Just talk about things. Talk about your experiences. Why you? People look at me like, why you? Why you think you different? Well, maybe if I speak about things that I've been through, then people would kind of like understand where I'm coming from. You know what I mean? Some people might not, but either way, there's more to the whole story. There's another incident real quick where, and this is just separate, this is like in 2021 this happened. I was in Jacksonville, Florida, and I was put out of the home that I was living in. For a period of time I was homeless, right? And during that experience, I came face to face with with a jinn. I don't know if you know what jinn is. I don't even think, after doing a little research on what jinns are, it's like Assassin's Creed on steroids, right? If you know what Assassin's Creed is. And apparently they're hired to do their work, and I was probably the work, if you get my drift. Now, that situation, I survived that situation, and if I tell you how I survived that situation, you wouldn't believe me. But I'm gonna mention it. But after that, I have a new profound respect for different professions, because the reason why that jinn left me alone, right, was supernatural. I don't think many people ever come face to face. I didn't really see his face, but come face to face with a jinn, up close and personal, and live to talk about it, or even live, period. And what happened was, if I tell you, what happened was, when that incident happened, there was a black cat out of nowhere. That's why I have a special connection to cats, and I realized that then. There was a black cat out of nowhere, jumped out of the bushes, because I was sitting on like a little thing, whatever, just minding my business. There was a black cat out of nowhere, jumped out and attacked. It's like, you know when the cat go up in the air and the back arc up and the tails and the claws are out and hissing like real aggressively, right? And the jinn looked like, I could tell based on the body expression that it was surprised. And I think I heard the words bad omen or something like that. This is a bad omen. And he left. But I have a new, what you'd say now, found respect for certain professions, people with morals and standing. I think at that moment the jinn realized that it doesn't matter if they gave him $100,000 for his job. He probably refunded that money after that. There are certain things, if you have the signs and the synchronicity to leave people or certain things alone, follow it. Some people can't get that through their head, so they keep trying and it don't work. That's why they get karma so bad. And this karma that they get is supernatural. This is not no man-made karma that people put on other people. Oh, I'm gonna give you karma, I'm gonna make you lose your job and then tell the whole world, see, he got karma. No, when you cause the person to lose their job or lose their car or have bad finances or disrupt their relationship, that's man-made karma. If it happened naturally, different. That's real karma. If it's man-made, that's not karma. That's your jealousy and stupidity, especially for people who are innocent. Now going back to supernatural karma, what is happening for some people is supernatural. It is. They might not want to accept it. They can't accept it. It's supernatural. It is. It's something beyond this realm. The jinn knew that. The jinn said bad omen. He left. He left with quickness. Left. These people are best at what they do. I give him that too. Because I would have never known that that person snuck up on me like that until the cat jumped out of the bush. A cat, a black cat. Black cat. But anyway, I just wanted to share my confession. This is my confession. There are a lot of stories that I can talk about too. Experiences that I had in the past that I never spoke about. I mean, I never told anybody. Nobody knows. So this is like the first time hearing out of my mouth what certain things that happened to me in the past. And I just mentioned things that can help other people to understand, you know, life experiences is different realms. And a lot of people get spiritual realm and the physical realm mixed up. What some people call the spiritual realm is what I would call the underworld. So you have the world. You have two physical worlds, right? You have this world that we know in front of us or day to day. Then you have the underworld, which is more of a hidden operation world, right? And then you have the spirit realm, which has two parts too. The spirit realm, good and evil. And people confuse the underworld for the spirit realm. So they're from my understanding, they're different. We're talking about one world, say Earth, divided by two, yin and yang. Underworld, regular world. Then you have the spirit realm or spirit world divided by two, the good and the evil. Some people might say God and his angels and the devil and his demons. But on the underworld, it's kind of like that too. They both kind of like the same. But anyway, but in physical form, not spiritual form. That's my understanding about it. I'm not going to go in details about certain things. So some people out there, don't worry. I'm just going to explain my experiences. what I've been through, and why I might talk about, oh, I wear the crown or this and that, is because I know what I've been through. I know some people, maybe a very few people might know some things, but not the full story. And that's in this case, this is confession number 1. All right. And I know confession is not the right word for this video, but I like the word confession. You know, some people need to confess. You know, make your heart become lighter. Confess. The truth shall set you free. Anyway, lovies, peace. I'm out. Take care of yourselves. Stay up, stay strong. Keep doing what you're doing. Soul family, soul tribe, y'all are so beautiful out there. Like, for real. You know, I said in my last video I wasn't looking, but now I might change that. You guys so pretty though, beautiful. Even the ones that don't show their faces, right? I'm talking about the spirit guides and the guides and stuff like that. And then when you do see their faces, be like, what? You know what I mean? And you know, but beauty is not skin deep. Beauty is a lifestyle. It comes from within. All right. Love you guys. Stay strong. Stay up. And confession number 2 is coming up. All right. I just got to figure out what to speak about, because there's so many things. Since 2016 leading up to now, there are a lot of things that happen. And a lot of people, there's a lot of mystery behind it. So just clearing the air. All right. Take care, my guys and girls. Peace.